founded No Limit Records, selling over 100 million records worldwide, independently. He's the CEO founder of P. Miller Enterprises and has a wide range of investments, interests beyond music, and Master P believes ownership is a key to your success. He created numerous brands such as Uncle P Rice, Pancake Mix and Syrup, Icon Noodles and Potato Chips, LA Great Beverages, Maniati Clothing and Shoes, Master Clean Life Household Cleaning Products, TV shows and movies. You can catch his biography and series called No Limit Chronicles on BT+. Can we please make a MSM Cornerstone, Nobility, PHP, warm welcome to Mr. All right. Hey, Mr. Boys. How you doing? Cool. By the way, who's from the South? Anybody from the South? All right, so how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
I don't know, we're here to do the impossible, and we need your help, because you've been doing the impossible your whole entire life.
I mean, it's a blessing. It's a blessing from God up above, and without him, I wouldn't be here. So I just want everybody to know that's the most important thing.
You know, I wasn't going to start off like that, but since you brought God up, a lot of, I wrote a book called Faith Made Millionaire, and about how many believers here? Amen. Okay. Amen. Sometimes in the Christianese world, there's a lot of people talking about it's uncomfortable for you to make a lot of money. I was having cigars a couple nights ago. A young man from Puerto Rico says, I feel guilty making money. I'm a believer, but I feel guilty making money. What would you say to that as a believer in order to make a lot of money?
Well, God wants us to be successful. It's not what you have, it's what you do with what you have. Yeah. And so for me, everybody look at all the great things that I've done, but I'm not self-made, I'm God-made. And so I think nobody's put on this earth to have nothing. It's what you do with your 24 hours, and when you put your trust and faith in God, anything is possible.
I was watching an interview you were doing with T.I., and they're talking about the way you help an impoverished community is by not being one of them.
Yeah.
So you came out the ghetto, you came out the projects. So what was your switch? Because you could have been swallowed up by your environment. What caused Percy Miller to convert into becoming Master P?
Just not settling to say that I'm in a private situation, but my mindset is different. I want more out of life. This is not it for me. I don't realize or believe that this is my destination. This is a part of the journey, but I can make it better if I put my trust and faith in God. And I just kept putting my trust and faith in God and said, one day I'm gonna make it out of this bad place. And it's also the power of words, y'all. When you speak negativity, it constantly comes back at you. And so even when I was living in the projects, I was always saying, I'm living in a mansion. I never said that I'm happy being in a project or I'm gonna die here in a project. I'm like, no, this is where I'm at, but I'm about to grow, I'm about to get better, I'm about to work hard, I'm about to make it out of here. And so that was the motivation. My mindset was that I can break these negative cycles and I can change this for me and my family.
Who were your early influences? I mean, what made you start seeing, what gave you a vision of a better life for you?
Well, my grandfather was a hard worker. My grandmother was a hard worker. And so having people like that in my family, so I lived with my grandparents, and we had 16 people in a 3-bedroom project apartment. And so we grew up tough, but the morals and values that my grandparents had, it pushed me. And so it kept pushing me, because my grandparents never settled. They never felt like they got the bad end of the stick. They had the nicest looking project. They had a garden in the backyard. And so they was living the American dream, even though we was living in poverty. They was always thinking like, this is gonna get better, I gotta have a good family. So we was like good times. that's the way we lived. So we didn't live with our head down or crying. My grandfather always was a hard-working man, going to work. My grandmother was a hard-working woman. And I grew up on WIC. I grew up eating cereal from WIC. And so I was just saying to myself the other day, like, I'm a kid that grew up on WIC, and now I own my own cereal company, me and Snoop, so it's a blessing.
I'm gonna get to Snoop here in a second. Did your grandmother, your grandparents, your grandfather lead you to church? Was it like church on Sundays, or was that your routine?
I got my butt whooped, but I didn't go to church. My grandmother was serious about church. We need to make sure you get a foundation. She always told me that. She was like, stop blaming problems on other people, and you gotta be the best person you can be. You gotta be a good student. It's all about education, because most people pray for money. My grandparents taught me to pray for wisdom. And so that was the difference.
That was King Solomon. King Solomon was praying for wisdom.
Yeah, King Solomon, one of the richest men to ever, probably till the day, because he didn't want money, he wanted wisdom, knowledge, information, and he was able to get everything else with the knowledge and information. And so, I mean, you gotta have faith, you gotta put your trust and faith in God, but also you gotta put the work in, because they say faith without work is dead.
So you were a ball player growing up too, so you went to college playing ball for a minute.
I went to college playing basketball. I graduated in 30 days. Y'all think that's funny, right?
I think it's hilarious. I had a 2.2 GPA in high school, so for sure.
I was a great student, and the professor told me I majored in business and communication and marketing. So I get into school. The first 30 days I learned about colors and marketing and all this stuff. I told the professor that I'm really gonna make it. He said, well, how much money are you trying to make? I said, I'm trying to make a lot of money. He said, well, when you graduate, you're gonna make $250,000. And I said, not me. I said, I'm gonna make $1 million.
Come on.
And the professor said, how you gonna do that? I said, you gonna teach me? He said, okay, what is McDonald's selling? This is my 30th day at school. I said, Big Macs. He said, wrong. Another kid in the class said French fries. Somebody said hamburger. He said, all y'all wrong. I said, what he selling? He said, he's selling consistency. When I figured that out, everything that I did from that day on was based on consistency. No matter what you do, consistency is the key to success. So when you look at it, them hamburgers, those Big Macs, has been the same everywhere. That's why they make billions and billions of dollars. The consistency. And when I figured that out, I graduated. I was ready to go. I started my own business. I was ready after. I was a real entrepreneur.
Wow, so power of a good teacher, power of a good professor, planted a seed in you. Okay, let's talk about grandparents, grandfathers. So a lot of people don't realize that, because it's shocking that people don't know your startup capital, but you have an insurance story.
Yeah.
So your grandfather had insurance settlement.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
tell you guys, so I know people look at me now that I'm successful in the way I live, but I grew up in the ghetto, I grew up in poverty. Probably one of the worst places for a person to live in New Orleans. At times the murder capital of the world, but one person that never got robbed, nobody never did nothing to, was the insurance man. The insurance man come through the neighborhood, collect the money, and leave. I used to get into fights because I tell people I want to be like the insurance man, because we used to play this game called That's My Car, right? All the other guys go, the Cutlass with the nice wheels and all these different cars, right? The Chevys. I said, man, they say, that's my car, that's my car. I look at the insurance man car, it was a Mercedes with no wheels on it, but it was $100,000. I said, that's my car. Guy said, oh man, that car ain't that good. Like, why you want that car? I said, man, that car $100,000. The car you talking about is $10,000. The wheels is $15,000, and the paint job is $5,000. So think about it, y'all. That insurance man come through the hood every time, pick up the money, leave. That's what I wanted to be like. And then my grandparents were smart, because you have a lot of smart people in the ghetto that was like, my grandparents was real wise when it came down to insurance. They always used to tell me that put your money into insurance rather than put it into a bank. And they've been thinking that way years ago. And so they was like, well, the bank gonna take your money and then go get 15% on insurance bond. Why don't you do it? So that's the name of the game, and I started thinking. And then when my grandfather passed, my grandmother put the money that she got from his debt back into one of those fast cash insurance things, and then she was able to give everybody in the family $10,000. So she gave me $10,000, and I took it at 19. I opened up my record store, was No Limit Records.
See, y'all giving birth to the next Master P of your generation. So our agents here are insurance licensed, and they come from multicultural generation, many from middle class, many low into the ghettos too as well. And so the insurance makes it back then, there was no EFT bank draft. It was an insurance man collecting cash, put in a wallet.
And nobody touched it in the worst neighborhood ever. Because they know the insurance man was gonna be the ones to help bury your kids.
Wow.
And so think about this, y'all. How can we stop all these murders, crimes? I'm gonna tell y'all how we do it. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, New Orleans is the murder capital of the world right now. St. Louis, Chicago, right? So say for instance, all those places have 400 murders. The way we stop it is with insurance. Because if we teach these people how to go get $1 million policy at $50 a month, which we probably spending more than that, right? We do that at $50 a month.
Come on.
We create, if it's 400 murders in each one of them cities, that's $1 billion per two. Think about it, new millionaires that we created. So now we have to go to Wall Street. It's not about the police. It's not about the government no more. This is a money problem. Now we're gonna fix the communities. We're gonna save our kids, but now because we're creating more millionaires off of insurance policies that we're putting up. And so that's the mindset that we have to change. And people ask me, well, Pete, what we gonna do about this? Because the police killing us, we killing ourselves. I say, we need to get some insurance. And so if we get enough policies, $1 million policies, we create all these millionaires and we get rid of crime, because now it's a money problem. They're going to fix the money problem. We make $1.2 billion in just 3 states. Man, imagine how much money that would be out there in the millionaires that we will create off of these policies.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, make some noise, yeah. So Master P, let's stay on that topic. What started changing for you when you started making money? What type of doors started open to you when you started reinvesting back into yourself? You're rising up as an entrepreneur. What doors or access? What started changing?
Well, I think first I want to say, people always say people change when they get money. No, money just elevates who you are. And so if you don't have integrity, I've always thought, even though I have money, it's all about helping people, it's all about growing, it's all about getting better. So I started being a better person because I was already thinking, oh, integrity, doing what's right when nobody's looking. So now that I have money, because most people get money, and this is what they do. They love money and use people. I did it the opposite way. I use money and love people. And so that's why I was able to help so many people. And that's why God kept blessing me and so many doors started opening for me. Even when people hate on you, God will make your enemy your footstool. And so that was the type of things that started happening for me, to where people were throwing these type of things and saying, man, well, P is the guy that's helping a bunch of people. I put a bunch of people on. And so think about this, y'all. A hater supposed to motivate you. You can see a hater, they're from a distance. But it gets difficult when the hating starts in your circle. And so that's envy and jealousy. And so you gotta be able to cut that off. And so I think when I was able to get money, I had family members that I had to cut off. Like my grandmother, I had to fire her son. My grandmother said, baby, how you gonna fire my son? I said, your son's not good for my company, Grandma, but I gave him some money to leave to go start his own life because he don't need to be in my business. Being a boss is not for everybody.
Right.
So every company, you're gonna need a boss and you're gonna need workers. You gotta be able to play your role. If you look at Bill Gates, what he was able to build, he created other billionaires because everybody played their role. But think about it, sometime in our culture, our people don't want to play their role, they want to play your role. But they don't want to do what you do. Think about it, some of these businesses that I have, I might not get paid for 2 years. It's called making an investment.
Right.
Everybody want to eat the bread, but nobody want to break the bacon.
There you go.
Nobody want to get their hands dirty. Nobody want to get the flour all over them. They won't come to the party and eat the bread. And then tell you what to do with your bread.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
how many of y'all experienced some of that already? Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. Okay, so let's keep playing that. That's good. I like that. Let's play that card. So let's talk about insurance. So you're talking about rappers getting murdered. You know, we got a lot of guys here. Where's Memphis at? Is Memphis in the house? Right? You know, we got a lot of Memphis. A lot of rappers getting murdered. And I did a reaction video to key man policies and why the record executives would get a payout when the rapper sadly would pass away. Are you aware about the key man policy with some of these record executives, why they get life insurance and some of the rappers?
I mean, a lot of these rappers are living risky. So think about it. Once you get to levels, so I want to tell y'all my whole thing, I come from the ghetto. I come from that type of life. When you got God, you're thinking about growth, you're thinking about changing. I always wanted to get better. If you want to get money and be the same, they always say you live by the gun, you die by the gun.
Right.
We got to grow up, not be afraid to educate ourselves. So think about it, you get some money, you need to start reading, you need to start educating yourself. I told y'all earlier, knowledge and information and wisdom, and surround yourself around smart people. You shouldn't be the smartest person in the room. I want to be around people that's going to push me. I don't want to be around people that's going to run with me. And so I always tell people, a turkey is a bird, but that turkey is on the ground. I want to be an eagle. I want to fly.
Come on.
I want to fly high. Most eagles fly alone. And so you can't be afraid to change. Like, I take care of my hood, I take care of my community, I take care of so many communities. My motto is the more I make, the more I give. But you have to change the way you live. Think about it, I don't mind hiring the police. I'm not doing any crimes. Why you gonna hire your homeboys to be security? We got to stop that. Let the police do their job. And so that's my mindset. When you get to a certain level, grow. Know that you're not the same. You are not the same person. Think about it, right? It's like people in the ghetto that hit the lottery. What happened to them? They end up getting killed because they stay in the same situation. You can't make it out and go back and hang in a situation that you know you're not wanted. Because most people, so let me tell you guys about success, right? Most people want you to be successful until you're successful.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's when they hate on you, that's when they prey on you, and that's when they want to take you down. Because nobody wants you to make it before them. It's called self-hate. So a lot of us dying in the communities because the people hate the people that look like them because they not there. So you hate a brother, I'm like, let's celebrate you. I'm here today to celebrate you.
Right, right.
Most of us there, that goes to tell us that the devil is real. The father of lies, he real. Think about it. He was in heaven, he was an angel. He wanted what God had. He took 1/3 of the angels with him.
He was a performer too.
He was a fool. Think about it.
Yes.
You done left heaven to go to hell because you want to be like God and God already give you everything you want. That's what we want. We want to get to heaven. Why would you want to leave up out of there? It's crazy, and that's what's happening in the community. You see so many great people that was taking care of the community. We talk about Memphis. You talk about Young Dog, you talk about California, you talk about Nipsey Hussle.
Yes.
These are people that are feeding the people on the block.
Yeah.
Once you take them out, Who gonna feed us?
Nobody.
These guys had good hearts. But now, that's why education is so important. We're trying to give our people the blueprint, the ones that want it. The ones that don't want it, I'm not about to let you step on me because I understand it's evil in the world too. So you have to move. I call it, we got to play chess and not checkers.
Yes, it is. And the other part of that question, you know, with key man insurance policies, you know, can you explain the business of doing that? Why record labels and executives would have a policy, life insurance policy, on these key men, which are their artists?
It's just like anything else. Think about it. If you was a sports player, LeBron James got millions and millions of dollars on his body. These record executives saying, this is my investment. I spent a lot of money on these guys. What would happen if that person died or something? They want to cash in. That's the way they get their money back. So while we fight and killing each other, they're gonna get their money either way it goes. And that's what insurance is about. So that's why I tell y'all, insurance is the way to change the game. Because think about it, even on your house, you gotta put insurance on your house.
Yep.
You gotta put insurance on your car.
Yep.
You gotta put insurance on your everything, your phone, your family, everything. And so to me, that's why I said, that's why I'm here today, because I realized that once we know we have insurance, because think about this, right? So I'm in the ghetto. A guy hit my car. One of my friends jumped out the car and like, man, I said, man, what is you doing? We have insurance. What is you so mad about? He said, P, you not bad? I said, no, I have insurance. What you want me to get out and beat the guy up? Like, for real? Like, I have insurance. I'm gonna get paid. Think about it. So y'all, why I was happy in the ghetto, right? I had a cousin that she got hit by a bus, and she was the happiest woman I ever met. Every day she tell me, cuz I'm rich. I say, no, you in the ghetto with me? She say, no, cuz I'm waiting on my money from the insurance company. So I took that mentality. I'm a kid in the ghetto at 6 years old. They say, P, why you so happy? I say, I'm waiting on my money.
Let's go to Baton Rouge, okay? So you go from California, you take your No Limit Records investment, you move to Baton Rouge. Now, No Limit Records is getting somewhere. Now you're recruiting, okay? Watching the documentary of you ended up buying homes inside a country club.
Yes.
Okay. By the way, can we let's talk about the country club Kaimar. Let's cue that video up. So let's talk about you not only buying homes in Baton Rouge in a gated community, but you recruiting Snoop Dogg. So let's take a quick look at this clip about what he said about you.
You ready now, Snoop Dogg? I'm like, I'm ready for what? He's like, come on. When we ride through this gated community, he like, pick out which one you want. I'm like, I want that one. Sign it in your name. You and your wife go down to that dealership. Pick out whatever two y'all want. Which one you want, boo? I want that one, I want that one. In your name. It's the first time shit was in my name. Everything was in Suge's name now. So this nigga showing me off the rip. I paid that nigga, gave you some chips. Now I'm finna buy you a house in your name, get you and your wife some automobiles. You ain't gotta go back to California, nigga. Spend your time in school and get your degree. That's what I did.
That's crazy.
So you were recruiting him from death row, away from Suge, right? And you talked to Suge in prison.
Yeah.
You guys you make him an offer to acquire a talent from his record label to your record label. Talk to us about that process of your recruiting and then showing him and taking things out of Suge Knight's name from Snoop, because they kept Snoop Doggy Dogg that name, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they retained the rights to his name, but you gave him a home.
Yeah.
You gave him cars. You gave him ownership.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that process.
Well, for me, Snoop Dogg is probably my best student ever. He's one of the greatest bosses. I mean, he's a multi-millionaire. He believed in God. He worked hard. He just needed the information, and he needed that love. And so I was able to give that to him because I believed in him. And I knew that his heart was right. Even till this day, when you look at Snoop Dogg, what he do. I mean, he done put so many kids on. He started his own football league. He a giver. We created our own brand, Snoop Cereal, Brothers Foods. We the first African-American owned cereal company with a national distribution. And when we're talking about nothing being impossible, I mean, I love that brother like a brother because he's so humble. And I knew it was the right thing to do because I believed in his talent. And so that's why I gave Suge the money for him, and that's why I brought him down to be a part of our family, and we've been friends ever since. Sometimes you just know, like if that person is, what I do love about Snoop, he never had a hand out, he had a hand up. And that's the difference.
Can you break that down? Can you unpack that? What did he do to say, I'm giving a hand up?
I mean, he put the work in. When I go into the studio, anything I asked him to do, that guy was working. So I'm like, I was a fan to him. For me to be able to get the biggest artists in the world to sign to me, that let me know that I'm doing the right thing and I'm doing the right thing by God. It wasn't me. Like God put this together, this was meant for us to be together and still be able to do what we're doing. I mean, as today, I created a brand for his mom called Mama Snoop because when you look at Aunt your mom and Uncle Ben, I feel like these was mockeries of us. But for me, to do that for him and his family, because I know it's hard. And I also know the type of business person he is. I told y'all, like, if God could trust